Welcome to A Team of One, a showcase of people who live life on their own terms.
This episode is dedicated to the Lupus Foundation of America.
My guest has been called the Jimi Hendrix of violin, and she's known for her incendiary solos. Paving the way for electric violin and rock, meet Susan Aquila. Hi, Susan. How are you?
Hi everyone. So nice to be here. Good to see you, Bob.
Always good to see you, Susan. How are you doing during the big shutdown?
I practice all day long. That's what I do.
Susan, you've had a remarkable career as a rock violinist, but you started as a classical musician.
That is correct. For my whole entire youth, I was a classical violinist, and I still am. But as I got older, I wanted to do more, and I found that even though I was a Juilliard grad, I still wanted more, and I would go home after orchestra and listen to the radio and, jump up and down to rock and roll. So I knew what I had to do. I had to incorporate these styles that I like listening to into my own playing.
And how did you get started?
I started in school. I was lucky to have one of those schools that had a music program, and they just plucked me out of the group and said, "You're going to play the violin."
That was in one of our great Long Island schools, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. When I first started violin, I was living in Smithtown by then. So it was Smithtown Elementary School, if it still exists.
So when did you start your professional career, before or after you studied at Juilliard?
Actually, it started a little before that, before I went to school, because I played in many competitions, and I won the Maccabees Mutual Life Young Artist Competition. And from there, I got to play a solo in Carnegie Hall, and I got to tour the world as a chamber musician and a soloist. So it started, 16, 17.
And how old were you when you first played Carnegie Hall?
The first time?
Yes.
I was 17.
That must have been an awesome experience.
It's such an iconic place to play. I mean, all of my idols played there, and there's a reason. The acoustics in that hall are incredible, and it's beautiful, and it was an amazing experience.
And when did you integrate rock violin into your skill set?
Yeah, not until around 2009, but I was excited. I had a few stints playing in the backup string section for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and I got a taste of playing in an arena for a large group of people, and that sort of gave me the hint that I might really like this. But then I got to play with Billy Joel the last play at Shea, and 55,000 people, and it was the most exciting concert of my life. And then I knew. I knew what I had to do, and it was going to be a lot of work, but I knew I would figure it out.
So after those performances, you became fully invested in rock violin.
Yeah. I bought my first electric violin in 2009.
Your electric instrument is absolutely beautiful. Is that custom made?
Yes, Wood Violins, which is run by Mark Wood, an incredible violinist. He has actually many styles to choose from, but I picked the 6-string fretted electric violin shaped like a Gibson Flying V, and I had 2 of them custom made for me.
So is there a difference playing the electric violin as opposed to playing an acoustic violin?
I love the electric violin. I love having the 2 lower strings so I can play bass lines and explore playing lower notes, as violin is such a high instrument. And I love using all the guitar effects and being able to really wail. However, the extra strings in the frets make it actually harder to play. And so I still enjoy going to my acoustic and getting the warmer sounds of an acoustic violin. And it's still my first instrument and the easiest for me to play. Not that it's an easy instrument, but it was a difficult transition for me. Some people make it easier, but it wasn't that easy to switch to electric. But I really do love it.
I've queued up a video that you and I made together. I think it really sums up your descriptions of being a rock violinist. So here's Susan in Flight of the Wounded Bumblebee. Well, it certainly was a pleasure to work with you, Susan. You deliver a consistently great performance on a very demanding shoot.
Oh, thank you. That was a crazy day because we tried to get 2 videos done that day, and it was getting dark and it was getting cold, and that character required a lot of extra energy. That crazy kind of character, and I remember we were running through the woods with the camera, and it was a blast. We had a great time.
Tell us more about the character you created for Flight of the Bumblebee.
Well, as you can hear, the music is kind of insane, spooky, and it was around Halloween. I remember we were trying to get it done around spooky Halloween time. But it's this crazed character who's, I feel, has been driven to this neurotic craziness and has no release but to just, run through the woods and play the violin. But that's the character, very intense and doesn't quite know what she wants and very confused and very afraid.
So this type of commitment to your career implies many, many hours of focus, practice, commitment. How does that affect your health?
There's a lot of aspects to health. One is just when you're touring, how do you stay healthy in a crazy environment that you can't control? But the other thing is I have an autoimmune disease. I was diagnosed with lupus. Gosh, it's been a while, at least 15 years ago. And I have to even be more careful about how I do things so that I don't trigger an episode. So I have to be really on my game as far as taking care of myself.
And how do you maintain that healthy balance while you're touring?
I try to make little schedules that probably mean nothing to everybody else, but I always make sure I get up, I have breakfast, I always do my warm-up exercises on violin, and then I work out. Barring any unforeseen thing, I always do some kind of workout, sometimes intense, sometimes light, depending on how I feel. And then, if I'm on a tour bus or something, I'll go to sleep for a while. But I have to have that control. Like, I'll get up before my whole band, and I'll do a whole routine, and then we get on the bus, and I'll go to sleep. But you have this little bit of control, and it makes you feel good, and I'm a big believer in exercise. Even when I was my most sick with lupus, I tried to find a way to exercise, and sometimes it would make me sicker for an hour, and I would just go to bed. But it mentally made me so happy to know that I did something, and over the course of time, my body was able to adjust and get stronger.
So you've established healthy fitness routines for yourself that you could do just about anywhere.
I can do anywhere, yeah. That's the other trick. If you have things you can only do when you're home, well, then it doesn't really work. But there's a lot of tricks, a lot of ways that you can exercise without having to drag a bunch of weights around. So that's the hard part.
So I've queued up another video that you and I made together that demonstrates your portable fitness routines. Check this out.
I am here in glorious Riverside Park. And as you can see, it's absolutely gorgeous. I often get asked, as a touring musician, how do I stay in shape on the road? For me, the best exercise is running. Now, I know it's old school and a lot of people stay away from it, but I highly recommend it. The first thing about running is that it really builds strength and endurance very quickly. And if you're a singer, you need a lot of lung capacity. It's just a natural way to be able to stay fit. I like to alternate running with some light weight training. So I'm going to show you some lunges, some variations on the lunge, some squats, and we'll get your legs in working order so that you can have a good, comfortable run. Now, I like to use 3 or 5 pound weights and put them on my shoulder, but if you're on the road and you don't have any, you don't need to worry, do without the weights. When you take a step, make sure that you keep your knee over your ankle and not your toes. So right foot, and then left. And then you keep alternating, and this will build strength. I also have a variation on this in which you lunge backwards. Like so. And you can do as many reps as you like, but I like to do 10 or 12 and take a break and alternate. The second exercise that really builds your quads up is your basic squat. Very important. You want the weights on your shoulders or by your side. Feet shoulder width apart. Squat, hold, and back up. I'll show you again. You sit back and up. Also, if you're more comfortable like this, and that'll work your glutes and your quads and really give your runner's knee some help. So I hope these exercises help you like they helped me, and I hope you have wonderful runs, and I hope to see you out there on the road.
So currently you're bringing your skills and talents to the stage in your own band.
Yes, the Susan Aquila project. It's all originals. At the moment, I'm partnering with Joey Gem, who is helping me write these songs, and we're putting together an album. We'll resume as soon as this passes, but we are working on a new album.
Well, this must be a very exciting time in your career.
It is. I just signed a record deal with a label called 26 Records. The CEO is Ronnie Hooks, and I have a 2-album, 2-year deal. I'm unbelievably excited.
Even with a full work and fitness agenda, you still make the time to support worthy causes. Tell me about that.
The Lupus Foundation is an organization brought to help fundraise for research and bring awareness about lupus to the public, because it's an unusual disease, and even the doctors don't understand it that much. It's really a quality of life issue. It's not fun at all. And I'm in touch with the Lupus Foundation, and I'm trying to lend whatever skills I have to them, and hopefully we'll get some more fundraising, and boy, a cure would be amazing.
Well, thank you for sharing your experience and wisdom with us, Susan. It's always a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you for having me. You are a wonderful host and a wonderful artist behind the camera, and it's a pleasure knowing you and working with you.
How can they find you?
My website is susanaquilarocks.com, and when we are up and performing, everything will be listed there. You can find me, Susan Aquila, on Facebook, or Susan Aquila Music on Instagram.
Susan Aquila. Thanks for joining us, Susan.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'll see you soon. Take care.
Stay safe, everyone.
May is Lupus Awareness Month. Please visit lupus.org.
Thanks for joining me for A Team of One. See you next time.